Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. The time is 4:14 p.m. and I call the Board of Estimate and Contract meeting into order. Clerk Walters, can you please call the roll?
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. Controller Morton,
Present.
Council President Gleason,
Here.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Here.
Thank you. Have a quorum.
Okay, we can proceed with the agenda.
Okay. Under resolutions approving ordinances, item number 1, management.
I'm sorry, on the agenda, or at least my agenda, it says opening of bid for Department of Public Works. Is that a typo? Somebody forgot to take that out?
Somebody forgot to take this off.
Okay.
Jeez.
Please make note of that because I believe that was the agenda that's on the website right now.
Okay, thank you, Council President. As Council President stated, we inadvertently left the opening of bid for Department of Public Works on the agenda because we're using a template. We will revise the agenda to reflect the correct information. There's no bid opening today. Okay, so we're moving on to resolutions approving ordinances. Item number 1, management services, and ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds within the Department of Management Services budget.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 2, Office of the Mayor, and ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds between budget lines within the mayor's office.
So moved.
Second.
The question? Hearing none, roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 3, Department of Public Works, and ordinance authorizing Mayor Sean Patterson Howard to commit a law match for the Green Innovation Grant Program for the South 4th Street Park Green Infrastructure Project.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
On the question, so where's the, somebody have any documentation that says that this match can come from this other grant?
Yeah, I mean, the EFC is doing this in conjunction with us. So this is the both grants come from EFC. So there's the EFC grant, and this is a Green Innovation Grant, and it overlaps with the 7th Avenue, 4th Street Sewer Project. And so we are able to use the $150 million.
Oh, yeah.
As a match. It's in the packet. It's in the packet.
It's in the packet in his letter. Where's the?
And it's behind here too.
That says it's use it.
The whole.
They use the other grant for the 199. I'm not asking for this.
The endorsement of memorandum of agreement between the state of New York, the city of Mount Vernon, and county of Westchester,
For the
state match.
For the $150 million grant, that's correct. That's what that document is. And in that document doesn't say that you can use that grant to cover the match is what I'm asking.
Well,
That's not typical in that. In fact, usually there's rules that say that you cannot. That's why I'm asking.
But the match is strictly for stormwater mitigation and sewer. So it is for the purpose of what the $150 million grant is in the first place. So it's just doing some of the work over there that is needed for the park upgrades to be compliant with stormwater.
I hear that and I understand it, but there needs to be some documentation somewhere that says that, because what has happened before is that then later on, and we had this situation with one of these other grants where they said, wait, whoa, you can't use that money for this, but prior to that, a mayor asserted that it could be done.
Mhm.
And there's no documentation that says that the agency agreed to that. That's all I'm asking. Because I don't want later on, now we gotta go find $199,000 for match. That's it. Yeah, you just. Somebody needs to get that documentation because, right, because what we're asking to do, this legislation is asking us basically to authorize that match. Right?
Yeah. I've spoken to Maureen Coleman, so we'll just get backup letter, because we've spoken to them and they're working with us actually on this.
Now,
Yes.
did we need some approval for this in order to move forward, or this was just to confirm for them that we have identified the match?
Well, it's part of moving forward that we've identified the match.
How do you want us to? Should we hold it or should we go ahead and vote on it?
Voting on it, I'll get a letter. It's definitely an eligible expense.
Roll call?
I'm fine going forward with it, getting a letter.
Roll call. Okay, Controller Martin?
Okay,
Okay. Council President Gleason?
Yes,
Okay.
I,
Mayor Patterson Howard?
Aye.
Okay, we have 2 ayes, 1 nay. The legislation does pass. Okay. Moving on, item number 4, still under resolutions approving ordinances. Item number 4, Department of Public Works. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Environetics Group Architects PC for condition assessments on municipal buildings.
so moved.
second,
On the question? Hearing none? Roll call.
Controller Morton,
aye,
Council President Gleason,
I,
Mayor Patterson Howard. Okay. Item number 5, Board of Water Supply, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute the first amended funding agreement with the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation.
so moved.
second.
On the question?
These are additional funds that are being given?
From EFC, is this another $1 million? Yes. This is additional monies. Roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye,
Council President Gleason,
I,
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank-
Just for the controller, New York State EFC has amended its original funding agreement executed on September 15th, 22, to provide an additional $1 million in funding for the lead service replacement line program initiative in the city of Mount Vernon. The amended and restated funding agreement also extends the funding term through March 31st, 2027.
I just wanted to put on the record that it's additional.
That this is, yeah, look,
I got it. No, I
more
got
money.
it. I got it. All the money you can get.
More money.
Okay, item number 6, City Clerk, an ordinance authorizing a transfer of funds between the city clerk and election expense accounts for the 2023 election chargeback expenses.
so moved.
Second,
On the question?
we closed 2023, probably attempting to transfer money from a closed fiscal year. Communication that went out from my office, tell everybody that year was closed.
I apologize if we're transferring it from the wrong fiscal year.
So, yeah, trying to figure out what happened. That this is coming, this is September.
Yeah, but how does it get to this point, right?
So,
So it gets here to put an estimated contract, it went past city council, and you guys review between the comptroller's office?
do you want to chime in?
Yeah, so this was
Allison?
for, to look at one, discuss what the Westchester County, payment
Chargeback,
chargeback for the 2023 election expenses.
correct.
And that one, we did pay that, for 23.
No, so 2023, we pay a year behind, right? So now 2023 is due to the county. However, the controller is asking, why are we taking the money from the 2023 fiscal year? Because that should have been closed. But,
23, 24 should be 24.
If we're paying
But I guess the
23,
question is, so here's the question, for you, right? So this came up, this was submitted. Right, there's a review that happens, right? When this came up for the council meeting, right, was there a discussion about the fact that this is 2020?
yes. So I had conversations, Naquan had conversations with the finance department, and we were told to take it from there. So I'm not sure where the breakdown was.
Is it a 23 expense rate?
23 expense,
That's fine.
23. It's a 2023 election chargeback.
24.
We've been getting reminders to pay it. I don't
Was-
remember
was
exactly
this
when.
charge- Was this charge encumbered? Did we not know that it was coming?
Yes, we know a chargeback is coming every year. That's
We know the
election.
amount.
Yes, it increased by 3% every year, so we do know the amount that's coming. So next year it's gonna be 156. I've put that in the budget for 156. This year it's, 151. This year for 2024, it's 146. And last year it was 141. So we do know at every year it increases by 3% per election law.
So what
Okay,
it's saying is just encumber it.
So then, when everybody was asked for the encumbrance, you all didn't submit this.
I sure did.
You did.
Yes, I
So
did.
this is in an encumbered amount.
you
Okay,
don't
so,
speak up? Okay.
okay, so.
It's
then-
submitted on the budget every year.
Not on the budget. No, I'm asking about, at the end of the year, we ask everybody to submit any expenditures that they have that had not come in by a certain date
Uh-huh.
to be encumbered so that we would then put it in for the record to know that it will come in after we have closed it. Then that would have been fine for this. Is why I'm asking, did it get encumbered? Sounds like to me, I can tell you what a breakdown is. So it sounds like to me, there's a breakdown between the two of you and between these two offices, my office and the clerk's office, and encumbering this and getting this encumbered, one. And two, the review of this, when this letter comes as a referral letter that it clearly says 2023, my office should have caught that and said, whoa, right, before it got to me, but that's another stuff, but it got to me.
Uh-huh.
So now, so that has to be encumbered, if that's the case. And are these, to Condell's question, are these all now 2023 or are some of them 2022?
No, so they're all 2023. So I can, when I go back to the office, forward you the email, the back and forth email conversations, right? So we can all be on the same page.
Y'all handle that. I'm good with that. I just need to know how it happened. I got it now. So
Okay,
just encumber it. Okay,
So now what do we do?
move forward. No, we'll encumber it.
Okay.
And I think we gotta make the final adjustment, so we'll just now encumber. That's why I want to find out what happened. It wasn't there. I got it. Okay.
Roll call?
As long as there's money in the line.
If there's money in the line to transfer, that's they want to transfer. to
Okay, so you focused on making sure there was money in the line.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, got it.
Controller Morton,
Try to save somebody something along the line. Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, item number 7, Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to retroactively enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the Westchester County Youth Bureau for the 2024 Summer Youth Employment Program and Training Program, which was July 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, just for record's sake, the county, when they do IMAs, they send award letters. They send award letters, we accept the award letter. Once we accept the award letter, then they send a contract. And so we had two on the last council meeting that were very similar. One being for the Youth Bureau, which was retroactive because, you know, they send the award letter months after the program started. The Department of the Office for the Aging sent it even further behind, and you're the old recreation commissioner, so you know, they send the award letter. It can start in January and you might get the award letter in September, but it's an award letter. It's not a contract. It's an award letter so that we can go into contract. We have to accept the award letter and then the contract comes. So I just wanted to kind of explain the county's process because we have one that we're voting on and one that we're not, because the one for the Office of the Aging, there was question as to whether it was 2024 or for 2023 or for 2025. They just as a point of edification, when the county sends their award letters, they send them late. Oftentimes, they're 90% retroactive. And it is for what it states on there, that time period. So I just wanted to kind of point out how the award letter comes later. And then the contract, once we vote on the award letter, then it goes through and they create the contract for to coincide with you.
And that's the process, as far as I know.
That's been the process for the Youth Bureau, for the Office of the Aging, and for any other county award letters that we get. But it's 99% of, I think, anything that comes down from the county is for the Youth Bureau and the Recreation Department.
Yeah, county money is going to always be behind, lag behind. And especially if it's program driven, right? If it's program driven, it's gonna always lag behind. So you're gonna get the award letter and ask you to enter into contract because that's gonna, by accepting the money into the budget line, it allows the finance department to then make the adjustments in the budget to allow them to spend it. Because the county is gonna make them do the contract, and then the county is gonna make them do the vouchers in for it to get reimbursed for it, so on and so on. So the money's always gonna come behind them. For those program type of contracts.
Okay, roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, item number 8. Yes. Thank you. Okay, item number 8, Department of Buildings and Ordinance authorizing the use of city funds for the emergency demolition of the property located at 19 South Terrace Avenue.
So moved.
Second,
On the question.
all right. Side, ordinance. And the referral to the code. It says that the commissioner, I guess, even if I'm mistaken. I'm trying to figure out why are we using ARP funds for this?
Well, we're using a combination of funds. I guess they're using some of the ARPA funds, but then they're also using the unsafe and dangerous monies. So I think it's coming out of 2 lines.
Yeah, unsafe and dangerous, I understand. The ARP money is coming out of a contract line. I don't know what is the 3620?
Something else.
That's not a zombie house. I'm asking the questions to get a clear understanding of what.
Yeah, it was a topic, I was falling.
This is it.
Yeah,
So it's a zombie house and it's unsafe and dangerous. It literally was falling over us.
so then how, okay, and so then how are we also dealing with this, recouping of money that is spent? Because obviously, if we use this,
That's,
we can't recoup $38,000, because that's federal money for the purpose of zombie. The $60,000 is coming from city taxpayer money, so yeah. So what is how, and I think I've been asking this question a few times, right? As to what is then this whole procedure around when we tear down private property or we pay us a private property and all this other stuff that we're using taxpayer money for. How are we actually getting that information to levy any of these fines or liens or whatever it is that we're supposed to do?
so I'm not prepared to have that conversation in a public meeting. Because I think that this is going to be a matter that possibly will be litigated. So if you want to go into the executive session, we can have a discussion about this particular property and whatever legal risks, if you want some legal advice. The question you're asking me basically is one with legal implications.
Okay, move to go into executive session then.
Second.
Okay, roll call for executive session.
To discuss what?
Legal matter.
Legal matters, here's legal advice.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Controller Morton,
All right,
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Okay. The time is 4:35 PM.
Stop the multi. Make a motion to come out of executive session?
Seconded.
I think it's fine.
Roll call.
Okay, Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Okay, the time is 4:48 PM.
We're still on item number 8.
Yes. And we are still on the resolution approving ordinances. We are at item number 8, Department of Buildings. An ordinance authorizing the use of city funds for the emergency demolition of the property located at 19 South Terrace Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
I think we were on the question.
We're under question.
Sorry.
So I guess.
That-
apologize.
Roll,
Thank you, Council President.
Sorry.
roll call.
Roll call, Controller Morton.
No. And, my no is it has nothing to do with the need to do that, so or anything legal. It has to do with, financially trying to secure taxpayer money for these things.
Okay, thank you. Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Okay, we have 2 ayes and 1 nay. The legislation still passes. All right, moving on to item number 9, City Council, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with the Center for Governmental Research, CGR, for the operational analysis of the Department of Law and the Department of Buildings.
So moved.
Second.
On the question.
So on the question, I've few questions. One is about the procurement process on this.
So
Because,
go ahead.
the procurement process does allow for professional services to not go out for RFP,
Mhm.
but it does require quotes. I only see one proposal. And then clear justification for why we are choosing this particular one. And I read the referral letter.
Mhm.
And I read the proposal that came in, right? And I didn't kind of see why it is that we are actually choosing this company to do this, right? And what's the justification of why there are not just at least 1 or 2 other proposals or quotes for them. Number 1. Number 2 is that we also approved the Harvard fellow, who also is doing work related to not law department, but the building department, right, on operation and efficiencies too. And I want to try to understand the difference and or the interplay in between those 2 services that we requested.
Okay, so item number 6 of the procurement policy, that's what you're referring to, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so in the procurement policy, it does say that we could bypass that.
Right, with criteria.
So our intention of choosing this particular organization is because of the fact that we wanted to get it in place before the budget process is finished, so that any analysis that we needed or recommendations that we can include them in either department going forward. It was meant to be more of a tool for the law department and the DOB for the analysis of how the office operations are and stuff like that. So specifically, did you read through the presentation that was attached?
I read through every document related to it.
Mhm.
And so the added information that you're providing for this then is that the rationale for trying to get this company in is because of time constraint
Yes.
and trying to get it so that it could, I guess, influence or inform the budget process that is underway now.
Mhm.
And this particular company, and why this particular company?
This particular company has done this in a couple of different municipalities. that were very similar to Mount Vernon.
Okay.
And I believe, hold on, I believe they put the examples there.
Yeah, they got over 100 years of experience, but so, all right, so because of comparative municipalities. Okay, so then the second question, we're not related to the warlord department, but to the building, because we have the Harvard thing. So how do you see this kind of, I guess, interplaying or informing or whatever, or some
Well,
connection to that?
I think this is very different. The fellow from Harvard is here really focused on the certificate of occupancy and tenancies. The one thing that we know here in Mount Vernon is that 60% of our properties don't have a certificate of tenancy or occupancy throughout the city. And that's not new business, that's existing, long-standing businesses just don't have certificate of occupancy and tenancy. And we need to legitimize those businesses. We have to figure out what the workflow is gonna look like.
And optimize it.
And optimizing that, we have, only the building department is in OpenGov, DPW, water, fire, and police, who also are part of the certificate of occupancy process, are not in there. And so really, just like we just did a whole review on fire safety and building safety inspections, the Harvard Fellow will be focusing on operational efficiency and revamping the workflow around certificate of occupancy and tenancy. A lot of people started, they'll get an electrical permit, or they'll get a HVAC permit, or they'll get something, and the process never finishes, but the buildings still operate. Some of our, it's really interesting because, there's been a lot of argument about Elevate. But like I said, 60% of businesses in this city operate without a certificate of occupancy or tenancy right now. And some of these businesses, which are very reputable and anchor organizations in our city, have been doing it without certificates of occupancy and tenancy for 15, 20 years. So that's the work that she's more focuses on, certificate of occupancy and tenancy, and doing a change management project to make sure that process is changed. And that's the next iteration of work that we're doing with the State Department of Buildings also.
Okay, last question, timeframe? Let's see if
Says 7 years.
Time frame for the analysis.
for the completion, because if you're gonna use the information, right? The information is to be used for the budget,
That's page 101.
to inform the budget process. We are in a very,
Page 101, yeah.
each one of what? Oh, I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it in the packet. I'm looking at it. What's the number on that?
8 weeks.
8 weeks, 7, 8
No,
weeks.
that's not your thing. Right, I see that, right? Okay, 8 weeks from now. We are. We pretty much finished with the budget process.
Well, they'll be making recommendations in the middle of it also. Like if they see something that, right off the bat, they think, a recommendation should be made, they'll make it. Yeah, go ahead.
I read through it. Do they have any experience with war? I didn't see it. Yeah, I see fire, police.
I thought it,
I didn't see it. Maybe it's there, but I didn't see
EMS.
First of all, let me say, I believe, I see the value, I believe in the value of us doing an assessment of the law department and the building department, given their responsibilities for the city and all that is being done, especially building department and all of the, the stuff that is on, that is from the surface on it. I just want to make sure that whatever we're doing, that we actually want to get the best kind of the value for it, one. And two, that we actually can best utilize it. So that's the reason why I asked the question around this particular company and why not other companies and what is and when. And with the explanation of the time frame, I get that. So now my question is how much value is that going to be in this budget cycle? It might not be, because it sounds like to me it may actually come in a little late for this particular budget season. Unless we, and we may need to do this if that's the case, is to make some considerations in this budget in contingency for if there's going to be some needed kind of changes, right? Because if he comes back and says that you don't have enough people in your departments, right? And this is kind of, and this runs along the same line of my pushback when the mayor before came earlier with the state and was saying we're going to have to add people into the building department. And I was like, you'll get a straight no from me until somebody can clearly show me what they're doing now and how this is going to be cost effective, right? And so I'm in that same place, right, with any assessments now of our departments to kind of make sure. But having said that, if we know this, if we think, then we're going to have to, if we really think that we want to be a part of this budget process, then we definitely need to make sure we put some contingencies in for, if he comes back, he should come back and say, this is what you're going to need. We don't want to now say, well, we don't have the funding to do that. Make sense?
Yeah, but then we have an outline and a framework because he needs help, right? The DOB needs help, right? Outside of like technical stuff, they need help, right? So this could be used more as a framework and an outline on how we can move forward, right? Where we're
Right.
identifying the most critical areas that either office might need help.
That value I got. No,
I know that.
no.
I just think that
No,
at some point.
I hear what everyone's saying, but the controller is saying is that we might need to put something in contingency
Right.
in the budget. Should this come back and say, you need to hire 2 more attorneys, you need to hire a labor attorney, you need to hire a housing attorney, a zombie home attorney, somebody, an attorney to work with the courts so that you can follow through on certain things that the code enforcers are writing. And upstairs, if they say, oh, you need 2 more inspectors because that would need permits and things along, that we don't want to wait until budget season 2026 to be able to do some of these, that we might want to have a contingent. So everyone is saying the same thing, I think. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't think. it's
Councilwoman
wrong.
Brown is on. She's raising her hand, is she?
No.
Okay.
Councilwoman Brown.
Oh, I don't think you're wrong. Again, I just want to be clear, right? I am not objecting to what it is that is being proposed based upon what Council President Wilson said as to what was the rationale for why we selected this company for it, right? It was a matter of, we want to try to get information in as fast as we can so that we could utilize it as a part of the budget process to make some changes, right?
Right.
That's what
the purpose.
that's exactly what I heard. So I said, okay, and then answered the question around what was the difference between what was happening with Harvard person and that,
Which is what
right?
we
As to what was the difference. So those are questions for some, were answered for me. Then I said, well, okay, so based upon the time frame of this, it seems as if it will probably come in after the process is either done, the budget process is done, or the budget process is so far along that you would not have accounted for whatever those changes are. So having said that, let's keep in mind that we may need to put something in the budget to also allot for, should they come back and say, you need additional X, Y, and Z in the budget.
I
To
agree.
do that. Otherwise, we're going to be constrained and have to wait until 2026.
No, I agree with you. I think that's a good approach because we're constantly making changes after the budget season is closed, going back and forth. So a contingency would make sense.
So roll call, up over there?
Yes. Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, we're still under resolutions approving ordinances. Item number 10, Department of Buildings. An ordinance amending ordinance number 24, adopted by the City Council on June 26, 2024, entitled, an ordinance to establish multi-dwelling inspection fees to enable the Buildings Department to enforce the Uniform Code.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Okay, why are we lowering?
I,
I asked that question only because you do know that I had some real challenges with changing these fees in the very beginning, right? But go ahead.
I think the reasoning is, and they provided the referral letter, it states that they're lowering to align with what the state is asking for, and then every per 10 building dwellings, it's 250 or something of the sort. I can't, 250 per 10, 250 per increments of 10 dwellings, right? I can't speak intelligently on the explanation. I apologize. But I think that was around the lines.
Okay.
Okay. Roll call.
Okay, Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, item number 11, Department of Public Safety, an ordinance authorizing a transfer of funds to cover budget lines with negative balances for the Department of Public Safety.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Okay. Item number 12, Office of the City Clerk, an ordinance authorizing the amendment of Chapter 237-35A and B of the City Code entitled Taxi Cab Fares to increase current fares.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 13, Office of the Controller, an ordinance authorizing the controller's attendance at and funding for the 2024 NICOM Fall Training School.
I've got a lot of questions though. So moved.
Second.
On the question?
We're so glad you're going, Morton.
Right after this meeting.
Hearing none, roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, item number 14, Fire Department, an ordinance authorizing the addition of 4 firefighters positions to the Fire Department.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
I am never gonna say no to more firefighters. Aye.
thank you. Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye, but hold on, let me just explain this. We actually did, last year we cut back because we knew we did not have an active list. So we cut back and did not budget for the standard number of firefighters, and we did the same thing in police because we knew we were not going to reach that number.
Right.
We knew that we were not going to have firefighters go into the academy until September. And so we budgeted for a certain number of firefighters. But of course, it's double that amount, but it's at not $1 more cost because we're not hiring those firefighters until September as we just did. So I don't want people to say, oh, you're adding more firefighters and you're not adding police officers. This is no cost. They're not coming on until September and they got into the academy. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Okay, before we move on to subheading salary resolutions, Madam Mayor, can I get a motion on the floor to add an item under resolutions approving ordinances?
Yes.
Okay,
Motion
to approve.
to add,
motion to add the and held item from April 24, 2020.
can I read through it?
Sure.
Just one refresh. So I'll make a motion to make the addition to an ordinance authorizing the conversion of municipal lot 17 to permit parking. Municipal lot 17 located on Prairie Avenue shall be converted to all permit parking. 9 metered parking spaces shall be eliminated. And the current handicap space in municipal lot 17 shall be relocated closer to the residential building on East Sydney Avenue.
Second,
There are no costs associated with this.
Okay. Second on the question, roll call, Controller Morton,
aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you.
Can we just make a notation that anything that's loaded to the CMVM line, that is added to that agenda?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you,
That
Council.
motion to add it to the agenda?
Just to add it to
Just
the
add
agenda.
to the agenda.
Now I'm gonna read it. Okay.
Thank you, Council President Gleason. As Council President Gleason stated, there will be an amended or revised agenda posted to the city's website that will reflect all the changes here today.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so item number 16, and with that being said, the item numbers will be changed as well. So
Thank you.
this is now item number 16, which is an ordinance authorizing the conversion of municipal lot 17 to permit parking.
So moved?
Second,
The question? Hearing none, roll call.
Controller Morton,
aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you.
So you're sending that back out to us? Because we don't have it, right?
What?
You're gonna send that?
Oh, yes, I'll send you a copy. Yes, and I stand corrected. It will be item number 50, not 16, item number 50. Okay. All right, so we're moving on to subheading salary resolutions. Office of the Controller, Fire Department resolution, all positions.
Just 1 second. So moved.
Second,
On the question?
um.
Can we get like a highlight of this?
For the salary resolution?
Oh.
Because we added the four.
Yeah, got it. So it's new.
Nothing's changed.
I got it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to, but. That's what I was trying to figure it out. Because we added the 4 positions that we changed in the side
Got it.
resolution to the number.
Yeah.
Okay,
Roll call. Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to subheading settlements. Item number 17, Law Department settling the claim of Esurance Property and Casualty Insurance Company. ASO Natalie Briscoe versus Dexter L. Gray et al.
Oh, so moved, sorry.
Okay.
Second,
Thank
Question? Hearing none, roll call.
Thank you. Controller Morton,
aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to
This goes all, I mean, this goes again, the gift that keeps giving, this goes back to 2020. Settling a case from 2020 where the brakes on the sanitation truck went out and failed because the former controller was not allowing us to get the vehicles fixed. I just, this is not a current case. When it's a current case, we take credit.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Okay, under subheading Department of Public Works, request to award contracts, item number 18, Department of Public Works, a resolution authorizing the award of a contract to Petrillo Contracting, Inc. for resurfacing of various streets in the city of Mount Vernon, New York for 2024 through 2025.
And that's right, the numbers changed, right?
Yes. This is 18.
So moved.
Second.
On the question. Hallelujah. Glad this is
Amen.
happening. Amen. You know, people have been asking and Mount Vernon, let me be very, very clear. In the last 3.5 years, we have paved more streets in Mount Vernon, not paved, not patched, milled, repaved, more streets than had been done in a 30-year period. And so as much as I understand everyone wants their street to be paved, you know, that's hundreds of millions of dollars to pave every street. We have infrastructure work that we're doing under, but I am proud to announce that with this paving round, I think the street that we've gotten more complaints than any other street in the city, Fifth Avenue.
I just got that this morning.
Get ready to deliver a child, Fifth Avenue from Kingsbridge Road to First Street will be paved. People are like, that is the gateway to City Hall. That is the gateway to our, you know, and so please know that last year we did the infrastructure under the road. We ran out of money. We ran out of paving time and our contract was over. We did the new bid. But that street by itself, that, you know, because it's about $100,000 per block. People do not understand how expensive it is to mill and repave a road. And so that road by itself is going to take up about half of this money. And I want to thank the Mount Vernon Urban Renewal Agency through the Community Development Block Grant because they gave $1.5 million. And that $1.5 million is really going to be what covers that road. So that road will finally be done. I promised it. We promised it. We all have to ride it. I ride it to work every day. So I'm sorry. I know that was a whole bunch of extra information, but I think that road, people have been crying about that street for several years. No other street gets more complaints than that. So, anything else on the question?
Well, I just think that it's important for the public to understand how these things happen. And the fact that paving streets and all these major projects that we have do not all happen just based upon taxpayers' dollars, at least Mount Vernon taxpayers' dollars.
No.
There's shared costs that happens with the state and the federal government around this. And so without money that comes from things like CHIPS and comes from EFC and comes from Pave New York and all of that, you would not be able to do this. So that's why those relationships and partnerships are kind of important, and compliance and making sure that grants. So sometimes some of these very difficult kind of conversations and things about that, while it sounds like it doesn't make sense, it's necessary to make sure that we're able to do what we do.
Because none of the paving has come from city taxpayer monies. All of it has come from, like you said, Pave New York, CHIPS. We get small allocations each year that probably allow us to do about 10 streets. And when we're able to do more than 10 streets, it's because we've gone out and we've secured more money, or we've pulled money from CDBG, or we've written grants to the Department of Transportation. So it's more than just a notion. They're talking about, I pay my tax dollars and my street should be paved. Not one dime of your tax paying dollars are going to pave the streets in the city of Mount Vernon. It all comes from outside entities that we are constantly working very hard to secure these monies and then deal with the most urgent needs, and making sure that we're not paving a street that we have to go into 6 months later and do sewage or Con Ed. And so we've been working with Con Ed. We want to thank Con Ed because it's also probably allowed us to double the amount of streets that we're doing, because once they go in and they have to do something around gas and electric, then the water department goes down, then the sewer team goes down, and we coordinate it. And then Con Ed is responsible for closing it from corner to corner and curb to curb, which is something that historically they had not done. But again, under this administration, we had conversations with Con Ed and brought them into that standard for this community. So it might sound like it's a long conversation around paving, but I can tell you, as we sit at the US
No, it's
Conference of
important.
Mayors,
It's
they
important.
sit there and they say, collect the trash, pave the streets, and make sure the streets are well lit, right? And there's no Republican or Democratic way of doing that. And those are universal cries from around the country. The kind of top 3 complaints from residents around the country is pick up my trash, pave my streets, and make sure my street is well lit. So that's it. We can do the roll call.
Roll call. No. Okay, Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 9, still under subheading.
Not 9, not 9.
I'm sorry, item number 19, still under subheading, Department of Public Works, request to award contracts. A resolution authorizing the award of a contract to M. Zanzini Pipeline Services, Inc. for various public works construction rental 2024 through 2025.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to subheading tax review settlements. Item number
Do
20.
you have any issues with taking all these together?
Let's take a motion to take them all together.
I'll make a motion for a block vote for items 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24.
So
Second.
Roll call on block vote.
thank you. Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, that was a motion for a block vote from 20 through 24. Item number 20. Under tax review settlements, a resolution for the tax reduction at Grandview Park Associates LLC for Grandview Park Associates LLC. Item number 21, a resolution for tax reduction, CPD Properties New York LLC. Item number 22, a resolution for tax reduction, Lucas Building Company LLC, which is 9 West Prospect Avenue and 10 Fisk Place. Item number 23, a resolution for tax reduction, Lucas Building Company LLC, 9 West Prospect Avenue. Item number 24, a resolution for tax reduction, 17 South McQuestion Parkway.
So moved.
Second.
The question?
On the question, these tax reviews, are coming fast and furious. And the payouts are coming just as fast and furious, to these. I know we've talked about this, not in just this cluster of administration, but also in previous administrations around, the need for reevaluation
Absolutely.
of properties in the city. And so we're gonna have to probably really bring that to a priority. Because while we are,
Can't keep the space.
yeah, we can't keep this pace. And while we are constantly struggling with trying to establish a budget and keep the tax base low, we are also finding ourselves having a problem with trying to get through cash flow because we now are having to pay back taxes that are over assessed in this. And so, you know,
And I think it's important to note that the taxes are overassessed because the properties haven't been reassessed.
right,
So people are buying multi-million-dollar lots, but they're taking advantage, of course, of the loophole of us not having had an assessment for over 50 years. And so we can only assess, you know, their properties, which are valued at so much more, Because it's not like the properties in Mount Vernon are devaluing. It's that we haven't had an assessment in so long that, we're losing money because of that. So Comptroller Morton, I commit that my office will work very closely with your office and the assessor's office to go out and find some funding. Because we have to find funding. This is a multi-million-dollar, multi-year process. At one time, I know we wanted to look at ARPA monies and see if we could use ARPA monies, but we had so many other needs in the city that, that wasn't an option, but it's no longer something that we need to think about doing. It's something that we must do. Else people will continue to take advantage of the fact that we have not had a reassessment in so many decades. And they benefit from it while their properties, and they can turn their properties around and keep selling them for a lot more than what we're able to assess them for.
And and the reality is that, we're gonna have to get all of any monies that are due to us, owed to us. Get them because then it'll help us hopefully have a fund balance to be able to give some money towards this, but just wanted to put it on record that this is a very challenging factor in the city. And the comptroller's office is trying to manage it the best that we possibly can with it. Yeah, there'll be some focus on it as we go through it.
Thank you.
All right, roll call.
I'll make a motion to roll call on this. Okay, I'm sleeping.
Okay, Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
You can be council president.
Mayor Patterson,
But I wouldn't try.
Aye.
perfect. Thank you so much.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, roll call, Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. The time is 5:25 p.m.
And we will immediately jump into our urban renewal meeting if we can call them on in.
I will.
Clerk,
I think
can we make sure